Okay guys, back for another cast on the druid. Last time I completed Moradon, and it took quite a bit of time in order to actually get a group going to complete all the quests in Moradon. So it really felt like a burden that was sort of lifted off my shoulders because I'm such a completionist, and I was starting to worry a bit about if it was gonna happen eventually. Most people just do princess runs, and yeah, well, it succeeded. I'm back sort of on the crime scene. You got Shadow Prey Village down here, and Moradon is down here. I have this is sort of the series Completionist Crusade because these two NPCs offer a quest each. I still have one that is completed from this guy here, Felgur 2 Scouts. Uh, but um, it's like uh, this NPC offers a quest that was called Gelkis Alliance, and I just looked it up that back in episode 75, so that's a long time ago actually. You can look it up. In the end of episode 75, I was explaining how I took this quest and sort of made that chain afterwards, where I sort of get popular with the Gelkis alliance, and um, it's I call this the completionist crusade because it's actually possible to do both quest lines, but you cannot be popular with both sort of their factions. If you start killing mobs from the Gelkis faction, you'll get unpopular with Magram and reverse. Anyway, so just to show you here my reputation, what I did was I did all the quests for the Gelkis clan Centaur, and then afterwards I sort of put them at war. You can do that. I'm already at war with them because I'm that unpopular, and that's because I've been killing so extremely many of these Gelkis guys. They are down here in this area that I have become. Let me see. I think I'm honored, almost revered with the Magram clan. Get like 20 reputation so per mob, so it's quite a few mob that I've killed. I haven't done the mobs, sorry, the math. Um, so the Gelkis clan, I'm not gonna be. Yeah, I could repair it if I did it the other way around. So to put Magram clans simply click at war instead of, and then started killing those clan members instead. Then eventually I would be more popular with the Gelkis clan. But you could say, why would you do such a thing? Well, I've been grinding a lot of silk and I needed it on alts. Further, it gave me some kind of, you could say, a purpose while waiting for dungeons, etc. So, yeah, and completionist as I am, I'm trying to complete all the quests in the game, at least until I die eventually, or I survive in full Nax gear and become a statue in Orgrimmar, something like that. But yeah, I'm just gonna take the Gelkis clan and move them to my inactive uh, stuff. I'm not gonna sort of get close to completing. Another one is Warsaw Outriders. That's a PvP factions, for instance, and naturally I'm not gonna engage in that. So I just want to show you where I got the quest from. And like I said, the current state of this quest, the first quest that Felgur 2 Scouts here hands out, is become popular with his faction. I think normally it's not, it's just enough to become fairly lowly, like friendly or unfriendly or something like that. But I grinded all the way to almost revered. And I'm just gonna go hand in this quest by the faction leader of the Magram clan, who resides up here. And as I recall, there's nothing really that sort of leads to these two guys with one or the other faction, and I think the whole setup is kind of very special for Desolace, you could say. The reason why I picked to become, say, popular with one faction and unpopular with the other is just that it's way easier to grind the Gelkis. They're much more numerous. Where are they? Yeah, they're down in this area here, in the cave here and around this tent, and they're much more numerous and much more sort of close. each other. Whereas the Magram clan, it's their territory that I'm into now. You can see they're green to me. Normally these guys will be unfriendly, I think, with you. But they're much more spread out. So if you wanted it to do it the other way around, then you would have to use a lot more time grinding these guys. And I wouldn't say it's that sort of a fun grind, especially when there's no sort of real reward except you're treating your OCD with yeah with what is the question. Yeah, but at least I'm gonna get rid of the quest. So yeah, and that I guess, like I said, the main purpose for me to do all this is just to be able to say eventually that I've done all the quests up to a certain point, because I could die from one second to the other. So the quest line, you could say, or completion of all the quests in the game will probably end there then. Anyway, here is sort of the, I suppose, the faction leader of the Magram, and just to show you on the map, I'm down here. So I'm gonna hand this. Now we are buddies, and I got 10 reputation. I'm just gonna pick up the next quest he offers. There's a small chain here, and you can see now that I'm. Let's see. Just gonna minimize these. 11,945. Yeah. I'm actually. I think I need to kill a few more mobs. Now that I'm looking at it, just gonna try and do that in order to get as close to revered as possible. But it's not possible to get revered, sort of, by itself. Now that I'm here, I'm just gonna explore the last area that I actually need. And inside this ravine here, I think it's a sort of warlock area. It looks very sort of demon-like mobs. Oh yeah, and it's Friday. Shadowbreak Ravine here. Mobs are around level 40. I have no idea what this is for. Some kind of quest, I suppose, for warlocks probably. Or maybe it's just, I don't know, they had to fill up the space here. I don't know. No rare mobs in there, nothing really. Otherwise it would show up on my sort of rare scanner like these. So I think the reason, by the way, that I didn't grind, I could have grinded, I think, up to 11,999. That was just that I wanted to show the grind mechanic, that you kill a mob and then you can get a bit of reputation. So I'm just gonna kill a few mobs down there in order to get to, I think, 11,999. Because when I complete this quest series, as far as I recall, just gonna buff this guy. Yeah, then I can push sort of this faction, the Magram. I can push him just over the sort of revered line, you could say. And I, th I think eventually they changed the text for this quest so that um, about this quest here, Broken Tears, that which is the next quest in the line, you could say, of this faction is. So first you could become friendly, and they changed the text to friendly slash honored because they, I guess, Questy sort of realized that you can actually become honored with these guys, and you can hand it in, sort of both as um, honored and as friendly. So level 38 mob. Let's see if we can pick this flower without getting aggro. It's standing right on top of it. My body here. But with this big of a level difference, you can see you can pretty almost stand on top of the mob. I did that on some other episode with a dwarf, an alliance NPC which happened to be a dwarf guard. When I was going to Badlands, I remembered, and I got too close to him, and then I got hit. I think I was around level 40, and the mob was level 15. But so you can't always. I didn't expect to get any aggro there, but I actually got it. So maybe guards have a longer sort of aggro range, even though there's a massive level difference. I do not know. It's a good spot, by the way, to farm Groom's Blood, which is used for sort of late game potions, elixirs, something like that. I think there's a potion where they just used 20 of them, and it's I now and then when I've been questing here, I've been seeing a level 60 circling around. Definitely for the Groom's Blood, there's no other value for level 60 here, of that kind of value anyway. So yeah, first things first. I'm gonna complete the quest, and on my way in, I'm gonna kill the few last mobs that I need. I got, by the way, I got the faction reputation down here, so I can sort of follow the amount there. Looks like someone else is grinding the mobs right now, but it doesn't really matter. The quest itself, I just have to pick up, what is it, 3 broken tears. And it's done inside a cave just above me. I'll just show you on the map here. So I'm down here now. Quest giver was up here, and I'm just gonna go in this cave in order to get these 3 crystals. They are almost done just in the entrance, so it's more like a logistical quest really than a grindy one, you could say. But let's just do some of these guys, and when I figured out, at least I've been grinding up in this area because the mobs were very dense, and they are around level, 32 to 35, something like that. But up there, at least if you were grinding these guys, you would get 20 reputation. I'm just gonna kill one of them, and then you would get 20 reputation from the elemental as well. And as you can see here, I just got 20 reputation from killing this mob. I should be able to get 20 reputation from this mob as well. Further that, I've actually been grinding weapon skills as well. And as you can see there, I got another 20 reputation. So I am currently now at 11,985, and I suppose 11,999 will be maximum possible. After that, you cannot gain more reputation with these guys from grinding them anyway. Good night. Yeah, as you can see, I got 14 reputation on the last mob, so I am now at 11,999. Let's do the quest, picking up 3 crystals here. Or tier of Therodras, I guess. I think Therodras is the princess mob from Moradon, by the way. So yeah, I'm just gonna go in here, pick the last one, and yeah, I have no interest in killing further of you guys. Unless you are part of a quest anyway. So back to hand in. So yeah, if you feel like grinding your weapon skills and you need some silk, then this area here is just, especially like up here, there's a ton of these mobs, and it's very close to Shadowprey village as well. I guess it's a good spot for, say, warrior or bow, something like that, if you want to grind, say, both sword and mace and axe, etc. I even grinded, say, bows and crossbows and whatever. Guns too. While looking for group or guild chat for if any groups. I suppose if you're in a high pop server, you're not that sort of starved for dungeons and raids, so it's probably, yeah, less of a golden opportunity to do this, you could say. But on this server here, I think I've waited close to a month, maybe 3 weeks to get this run for a marathon yesterday, actually. So I guess that's why I feel like it's a relief, because I wouldn't say I was giving up. I wouldn't, but I was sort of considering how long is this actually gonna take before I can sort of move on. Because I wanted to, as usual, get, if possible, the reputation. And the quests from Moradon was sort of locking me down. You could say there was a lot of, not a lot, but there was, I think there was two level 50, one level 50 and one level 51 quest, I think, that gave Scenario and Circle reputation, and I'd like to get the full amount. So I wanted to get these quests done, as they were 51, by the way. I'm 56, so I got the full amount. I think I got 2 times 150 Scenario and Circle reputation from killing the princess and handing in, picking up some quest by Ghost afterwards that I handed in Moonglade, the druid zone up north here. Uh, yeah, up here, I guess. Yeah, but back to business. We're up here to hand in, and I'll get a new quest. I think I have to kill some guy pretty much in the same spot. These follow-up quests feels a lot like, oh shit, man, we need to do some kind of quest in order for this to make any sense. So take this, go kill that. Yeah, something like that. They're not especially tricky or sort of, yeah, intriguing, you could say. They did add in the end some kind of special element to it, though. I'll give them that. It's more like you have to make some kind of special hand-in, something that you can't get from a kill, or not to my knowledge anyway. Or yeah, get anyway. It's a crafted item. There are a few of those quests from what I recall so far and there will be more later on. I think in very late game where you have to have some high-end materials you have to hand in, maybe even some crafts. Um, but there has been a few, especially in Hillspread, I think there was a few where I had to hand in a couple of potions, stuff like that. I'm handing in the tears. Okay, and after that, I'm handing in this target dummy. That's exactly what I was talking about. So he's asking for uh, a target dummy. I knew that in advance, so I bought one on the auction house. Just gonna hand it in. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, okay, so it's pretty much the same. The quest after her is in the same spot where I have to go kill some guy. It's I think it's a triple pull, maybe 4 mobs at the same time, something like that. But it's no problem for Moonkin, and the mobs are so low level, so it's no issue at all, of course. And I said it was possible to get revered. I maybe have screwed that up, so I'm gonna might be sort of end up here at 11,999 honored, and it's quite alright. I can live with that. It's just a minor detail, really. But what you could have done, I don't recall if any of the last quests here honor any reputation. But the first quest that I handed in by the guy, I sort of forgot that I made a deal with myself that I would kill a few mobs, so you guys could see the mechanic of killing the mobs. That you would get reputation with one faction and lose reputation with the other, as you can see like this. The reason why, by the way, it says that I'm only gaining reputation is because I'm already at war with the other reputation, so I can't lower my reputation any further. I'm sort of the lowest of the low, you could say, with the other faction. I'm where are we? I'm hated. I'm maximum hated out. Simply feels great. No, no, not really. But so that's the reason why I'm not. Normally, you get 20 reputation from killing them off, and then you'd lose 100 with the other faction. But you cannot lose anything if you're already sort of at the bottom. I can't sink any further with that faction. Um, but like I said, it would if you handed in the first quest. If you already were at this stage, 11,999, then you could have sort of tipped the scale just over, so you'd become Revere. And it depends if I don't. I think there might be a quest after this one as well. But if none of those offer any reputation, it's not possible to tip the scale. And the first quest I did, let's see if I can get that high. I think it offered 10 reputation. Yeah, I just picked a lot. Yeah, there we go. So these 10 rep could have sort of moved me across. It's fine, I can live with that. I'm just sort of glad to have got it done. I came mainly to do all the quests, not to, yeah, not to get the, to tip the reputation over, you could say. So actually this quest text in heads up for Questy, it could actually be revered slash honored slash friendly, as it's actually possible to get that high. Minor detail. So I'm just gonna sneak my way in and kill Khan Shakas and yeah, get his head. And yeah, I'm so high level that I can pretty much, I think, sort of stand in the middle of these mobs, and unless I'm standing there for like 30 seconds or something like that, I don't think they're gonna expose me. I can be exposed by standing in a fire, of course. So he's, I don't recall if he's up there or there. I think it's up here. Can we use the stone? Nope. Guess I could use that one. He's standing there. I'm just gonna mark him. I've been grinding a little in here as well, so I kinda knew that. And we got a little chest reward, and that's pretty much all the reward I'm gonna get. So I think he calls for his buddies when you attack him, so I'm just gonna do this guy. There we go. And yeah, I'm just gonna put them over here. So level 37 and I think 2 level 35. 35, 36. No problemo. So got the hit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just a regular chest. It has nothing to do with that mob, really. And those kind of chests are just, I don't know, I wouldn't say all over the map, but if you look in where to, I guess you can, I can imagine you can find, like you can get some add-on that can show you the location of all known chests or something like that if you feel like treasure hunting. I don't, personally I don't think it's worth the effort. So I'm just gonna get out, back and hand in, and there might be one more quest, maybe not, and it might even be an elite. I'm just gonna go check it out. And yeah, it's weekend, if I didn't say that before, so there's quite a few more deaths than normal. It's Friday today. So we have level 25 that were killed by a Baron's Kodo. Uh, I almost had that pleasure myself, or that questionable pleasure you could say, because I was doing some kind of AO at a point, maybe some demoralizing shout or something with an area effect on my warrior at some point, and then I accidentally, this Kodo sort of walked into the space where I was shouting. That's one way of looking at it, or I just didn't look carefully enough, and I got aggro from the Kodo as well. And it got kind of pissed at me, so they hit actually surprisingly hard. And this is just crap too. There we go. So this might be the end of the chain, or there might be one more quest. I have an idea that they might sort of both factions end with the same quest, where you have to kill some final level 42 elite or level 40 elite or something like that. But I'm gonna do that quest as well, of course, if that's the case. I seem to recall that the other faction, the Gelkis faction, there was some quest up here in the Valley of Spears that you have to finish in the end, if you wanted to do the full chain, of course. And here we got a Groom's Blood again, so they seem to respawn fairly fast. I'm just gonna pick it up. Proving my point here that it's a good place to farm. Just gotta mainly look out for this guy, he's a quest mob, 40 elite. Hratha. He's sort of Hratha here that's running in the background. Yeah, he's swarming around in this sort of demonic area here that's called Magram Coven. And he's part of a quest chain that I think it starts in the same sort of quest hub up here, where I just picked up, where I picked up this quest eventually. Well, not this quest exactly, but the first in this chain, where I had to get sort of popular with either Gelkis or now the Magram. So back to my homies here, and you can see they are sort of dark green because I'm just Mr. Popular with them, because I have annihilated, like I said again, the Gelkis clan down there. And let's see if there's a follow-up. Yeah, there is. And these are sort of the end rewards. I guess the belt is pretty nice actually. Nice healer cape as well. So, yeah, this is the final quest, and it's exactly the same as you do sort of as the final quest in the other end. So in the other end, I mean by if you're doing the Gelkis clan quest line, you get the exact same quest. I don't know if the rewards are the same, but the belt is very nice for this level. Let's say 8 agility, 9 stamina. So what I have to do in the final quest is I have to pick up a mouthpiece. It's a random drop. I can imagine maybe something like 10% or something like that from the mobs up in this area. When I have the mouthpiece, I have to blow some horn on the top of a ridge or something. So it's a little hard to get down there. Uh, Somewhat easier with cat form because I don't take as much damage from falling damage. So it's possible to get out if you're sort of getting overwhelmed there. I won't be overwhelmed as level 56, of course. But it's still one of these quests where you have to you're sort of cornered, and you have to sort of endure multiple waves of mobs. And by multiples, it's probably 3 waves, as far as I recall, but it's the exact same quest as the other faction sort of ends up with. But to be honest, I think the hardest quest to do here in Desolace was, I think I did it as a duo, and it's no problem. Was no problem at all as a duo. But to do it single, there was a level. It's not even an elite quest. It's an escort quest that was done up here in the same area where you have to escort some goblin, a female goblin, from sort of out. The area is in here to my right, and you have to escort her out, and then eventually there'll be a couple of ambushes, very typical for escort quests, but in the end here there'll be up to, I think it's 5 mobs, maybe 3 of these sort of humanoids, but they have a couple of hyena sort of doggies as well to help them out. I think this guy actually just did it. Just gonna heal. Oh. So she just soloed. Very well done. Just gonna whisper. That was the exact quest that I was talking about. It might be easier for some classes than other, but I remember there was some famous Danish streamer, I guess. So he used the target dummy as well to sort of get the mobs off for him. It's pretty tough to do at that level, especially, and he was self-found rogue from what I could see, or she was, character anyway. So the quest itself takes place up here. I have to blow this. This is part of the horn actually. I'm just gonna grind the mouthpiece. But yeah, exactly like she said, evasion, no, not evasion, but you get whipped a lot, so you're not gonna get away there. If you're caught, you're caught. I'm not gonna take this mob. There's a couple of mobs up here on sort of the ridge as well. I'm just gonna take them sort of in the end, so they won't respawn on top of the sort of encounter itself. When I started, you'll see eventually, because like I said, they'll probably just respawn. And we have a 60. See if the I don't know if it's a guilty, but I think it is. I'm just gonna pay my respects here. So I don't know. I think they say the guy was offline, so maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't feel like getting praised too much. I don't know. I'm a bit of the same kind of type myself. Like standing in a crowd and getting an ovation for something I freaking hated. Like say for completing some kind of education or something like that. It's just I don't know. I'm just that kind of type. It's really cringe to me. Whereas other people loved it, of course, but I guess people are different. Alrighty, so kill a few more. Sometimes I've had it. I haven't done the quest that many times, but yeah, it's random, just like everything else. So sometimes it's been fairly fast drop, and sometimes it has not. So all my mobs, but all my characters has completed this quest if they are like 45 or above. Are maybe 47. As the quest is level 42, usually I complete quests like this 5 levels above. I do seem to recall that when I did it here on my druid, I did it with a warrior. I actually asked him for help. It was the same warrior that I did. We started out as a group doing the quests in the not in the hinterlands, but around the highlands. We did the elite quest there as a group, and some people had to leave, and eventually we sort of do it, the final quests there. Ah, bugger. She actually got a heal off. That's a bit embarrassing. But yeah, all this work to dump a single quest up here, but yeah, that's just how it is. But yeah, like I said, I have an idea that it's something like 10% drop rate. I have I have no idea what it actually is, and I don't even know if there's some kind of recording of that because people that are grinding these guys don't necessarily have the quest, so you can't sort of just go look at the statistics for these mobs getting killed, as you have to have the actual quests. And I can imagine it's far from all players that care to go to this length. We actually got the mouthpiece. It's gonna rebuff. Yeah, might even take a little fishy here as a food buff. But like I said, the mobs are gonna come up there in waves. Um, 3, 4, maybe 3, 4, 4, something like that, or maybe it's 3, 3, 3. I don't recall. But what I usually do when I do the quest, you can actually see the horn from up here, and you can see it's pretty high up. So if you for some reason get overwhelmed, you have to not jump from the highest tip here and down, but you can go a bit down the slope and then jump down there. I tested it eventually on my rogue. I think I soloed it as a level 47 on my rogue. Of something close to that anyway, and I just wanted to test that I could actually jump off without suffering too much damage, and it was no problem. I think I took 0 damage with rogue, but again, rogues have decreased. They have they take less damage from it's a talent point or a skill, I don't recall, but it's standard stuff for rogues, and I have it as in cat form here as well, that I take less damage than normal. I think when I'm in cat shape, and I think it has to do with the fact that you shouldn't break stealth when you sort of fall a somewhat tiny bit. The guys here with mana, I think they're pretty much like shemmies. They can do some kind of lightning attack. As you can see, she started to, or they can heal. So when I get the waves, I'm gonna get these mana guys down first. There we go. And like I said, the reason why I do these mobs now is that when I start the event, and I will in a very second, when I blow the horn up here with my acquired mouthpiece, then yeah, these waves will start, and I can imagine that if had these mobs been up, or if they respawn in the fight, which they will not do if I start the fight now, then I would probably get social aggro, meaning that these mobs are the same kind of type and as the mobs that are charging me. So therefore I would get aggro from those as well. So I just blew the horn, and the place you had to jump right here was from this corner down there. It's not quite as high as where I am. So what I normally do is I'm standing in the middle of the ledge here, let them come to me, and I can root them, by the way. So 2 mobs first here. They do have this nasty ability where they sort of hit me like this shield slam, so I can cast the spells that I want. There's no knockback or anything like that. Not that I have experience, so it's pretty straightforward fight. All I'm saying here is just when you do this, eat and drink immediately, so you're ready for the next wave. And it's 3 mobs second time. What I could do here, and I probably will, is I'm gonna root one of these guys. And then I'm gonna take the healer first, like I said. Always the one with the mana, or usually in a quest. So she tried to get a heal off there, as you can see. And I think the next wave is the final one. So I'm just clubbing this guy, healing, using my innovate here. Might got some decent legs, by the way. So the big boy is coming here. I'm gonna root him down there. And then I don't recall if there's a healer. There is. I'm just gonna do the healer first. So it's quite a group here, as you can see. Just gonna wall stomp them and hopefully get the healer down. If this guy breaks chain, sort of breaks root, I'm gonna reboot him immediately. That's this guy. And you can see even as 55, it's not like I'm on that's pressured, but it's felt. So we are talking 2 melee mobs and a healer plus the level 42 elite himself. Just gonna heal up again here. Yeah. So he's coming now. I'm just gonna root him again. I'm gonna loot his little buddies here while I get a little bit of mana regeneration. There we go. So I'm gonna kick his ass now. To say if this had been a problem, I still got whip and I could run off, etc., etc. But as you can see, it's probably not that much of a fun quest to do solo as, say, level 42. I think, to be honest, that would be pretty massacred, really. Anyway, got his... I got his key fragment, and I think it's what I need for the quest. Just gotta make sure, because maintain your Magram reputation and bring the Mordian key fragment to Warug. So that's pretty much it. So the Warhorn mouthpiece, it stays in your bag. It's safe to delete it afterwards. And yeah, these leggings really sucked. Had it been 11 stamina that instead of spirit, it would have been interesting. Just checking out what's happening, but yeah. Oh, I suppose this is the target dummy that the rogue threw before. I wonder how long it stays, but yeah. Oh, King's Blood. Yeah, I'm actually gonna pick up the King's Blood. I'll show you eventually why, but it's for a faction grind. I don't know if I'm gonna do that faction grind on this character, but it's a faction grind that might be useful. It's actually called the Thorium Brotherhood. Um, and I think I've talked briefly about them in a previous episode. They are on the other continent I think it's, if it's Searing George, something like that. It's sort of in the middle of the map. I'm just gonna check it out now. It's, let's see. Yeah, I think it's here. No. Yeah, it's Searing George. It's up here, Thorium Point in Searing George. Eventually there will be some kind of hand-ins, and I think you can pick or choose if you want to hand in King's Blood or um, some kind of leather, stuff like that. This particular the grave moss, by the way, now that we are talking about plants, is found in sort of graveyard areas. Doesn't mean if it's from humanoids or beasts. Grave moss, I know it's found in quite abundant, I think, in the graveyard. Or well, everything is relative, but there's maybe 3 or 4, something like that, in graveyard in Scarlet Monastery, the dungeon, the first of the 4 wings of the Scarlet Monastery dungeon, and it's used for various sort of low to mid tier recipes, but the most important being shadow oil. Shadow oil you can apply on your weapon and get some extra damage in the shape of sometimes you'll have shadow bolt firing instantly. I don't know, level 1 or level 2, but it's a bit of extra damage. I wouldn't recommend doing it just for that, but what I've used it for was for my tailor actually. I have a tailor with a fairly rare recipe that can make a headpiece for a level 27, something like that. I think it's called Shadow Hood. And it sells quite well. I think maybe one every second day or something. But it requires a shadow oil as part of the crafting materials. The rest is just some low-level couple of pieces of silk or something like that. But they can sell for like, I don't know, 3-4 gold, something like that. It's worth taking. Yeah, 3-4 gold. I'll take that any day for a small amount of work. Anyway, I think this is the final quest, guys. I'm just gonna see if he actually awards me any reputation, but I don't think he does. And I'm just gonna go for the money. So, yeah, I don't need the belt. I need money more. So, there we go. It's done. The faction is done. There's no further business here, as you can see. I have no quests. I'm kinda done in Desolace. And the final part I'm gonna do here is the Magram clan. First of all, I'm not going to show it as experience bar, so it's going to get removed from down there. Bingo, as you can see, it's gone. I might grind some other faction later, and it's kind of nice to have the bar along with your experience bar as well. And then I'm going to move the faction to inactive. There we go. And that's it really, guys. So with my newfound buddy here, Warug, and his boys at the bonfire, I'm gonna bid you a farewell. So see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.